I'm Robert Cavuto, and today on Metal Rules, we're talking with Åge Sten Nilsen of my favorite band, Wig Wam, to talk about their new album, Out of the Dark, that's coming out on February 10th. Congratulations, Happy New Year. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Likewise, Happy New Year.
And yeah, my wife said I haven't seen you this happy since our honeymoon. I said, no, I love these guys. These are my friends. This is everything.
Oh, so nice. And we had such a nice conversation last time too with Tron and everything. So, yeah.
And I'm
good
really
to be back.
I'm really excited to talk to you because I think the band has done so well. I think you're finally getting your recognition you deserve as artists from your last album, from The Peacemaker, and this new album is tremendous. How does it feel? Is it well deserved?
Oh yeah, we kind of, it's mind-boggling. I mean, we didn't know what to expect, and especially after the Never Say Die release, and still not been getting rid of that pandemic situation, and hard to get gigs, hard to be booked on tours because nobody would pay, and nobody knew if there were going to be new lockdowns. And here comes Peacemaker, and it comes as a big surprise. And still it's hard, I mean, to get out and to play after the Peacemaker, because a lot of the venues were already booked like 2 years before, and the bills for the biggest festival were done, and so they couldn't allow any more names. We had so many people getting in touch with us, telling us how much they wanted us to be a part of the festival, or but they couldn't make room for it. And sometimes even we had we were called for, I mean, Ace Frehley couldn't make it in Sweden, so they called us, but then we had a different it's been a mess. And finally now it looks like things are getting sorted out, and when we were supposed to go to the US this summer, I mean, we were kind of like, we wanted to go there, and we had this agency in the US, and they wanted to book us on a tour with Lita Ford and Winger, and we were like, yeah, go ahead. But there's something about the working visas that doesn't kind of work these days. It's the lines are hilarious. I mean, so we really thought that January would be enough time, but the thing is that the dates need to be booked, and after all the dates are booked, that's when you are going to apply for the working visas. And some of the dates weren't ready yet. So when finally the tour was booked, and then there wasn't enough time for the visa, so now we have postponed it until April, and April will come finally.
I will be there. I know you announced one show in Virginia. It's only 4 hours away. I haven't told my wife yet, but I'm going to drive there and then sleep over and then drive home. I'm waiting for new dates, so hopefully something comes up.
Yeah, we're waiting for more dates too. I mean, there's a little gap there, and in that gap they are filling in with dates. So and we told them we'd love to play every day. We don't need days off. When we're over, we're going on that boat, Monsters of Rock cruise. So that's going to be kind of our final gig in the US on this leg of the tour. And so they were only going to do one gig, I think, and we're going to relax. We'll have have some festivities and some relaxation on the islands.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's well deserved to celebrate. Between the album, the tour, the Peacemaker, everything is great. And like I was telling you earlier, I love this album, and I think it really picks up where Never Say Die left off. Was that intentional? Continue in that hard rock commercial vein?
Yeah, it was. Tron and I, we met, and we started to write songs for the new album. And the first song that we started to write was Out of the Dark, the title track. And it felt like we just continued on the path, the same path. And but we wrote half the album was half of the material was written and mostly recorded before the Peacemaker, and so after the Peacemaker, it's easy to hear that we'll added some lighter stuff, you know, to, I mean, people that are first got introduced to Wig Wam by the Peacemaker song, you know, we want them to kind of recognize the band too, you know. Yeah. So at least maybe 3 or 4 songs came off from that time, and still, you know, we wrote a bunch of other songs that were very commercial that didn't make it to the record because wow. we wanted to save them for a rainy day.
Okay, that sounds like fun. You know, I do like all B-sides or do like the unreleased or bonus tracks. I think people love that, you know?
Yeah, but you know, also we've been contacted by these sync people in the US, and they really wanted us to send a bunch of songs. So we sent a lot of songs that we didn't use on the album because we wanted it to be kind of a continuation of Never Say Die and not too commercial. Like 4 or 5 songs, you know, very commercial songs in the vein of, you know, In My Dreams and, you know, Do You Want to Taste It? But we saved them, and maybe those songs will end up in some kind of a movie or in some kind of series.
Wow, awesome! That's fantastic.
Hopefully,
I think one of my favorite tracks is "Bad Luck Chuck." It's got
that's a cool song. One of my favorites too.
It's got like a Van Halen Top Jimmy vibe to it.
Yeah.
You know, instantly when I heard it. Is it a true story? Did you have a friend named Chuck?
No, I mean, the theme is true. I mean, we all have friends that, you know, they can't understand that they're not getting laid or not getting married or they're not getting a gig or whatever. I mean, yeah. So you're complaining, you know, you have a studio, you have 500 guitars, and you complain that you never make it. But how many songs have you recorded in this big, great studio? How many songs have you recorded? I haven't recorded one yet. No, you've had the studio for 5 years. Don't complain. I mean, do something with it. I mean, if you get wasted or too drunk and you go out on the city and try to find the love of your life, I mean, don't go complaining about it. Try to find the love of your life in another space or another time, not being too wasted. I mean, we all know people like that, you know?
Sure, so, we do. It's a great song. It's a fun song too. So I really love that.
Actually, it's the only song that we all co-wrote. We were actually in the rehearsal studio rehearsing for the, you know, some shows during the, you know, last wave of the pandemic, and we were just jamming, and this song came about, and we just recorded it in the rehearsal room. I was just scatting, you know. Some of the chorus, you know, came there, and just brought it back home and loaded it into my studio. And one night I was just singing the whole thing and wrote the lyrics, and well, it's got that kind of vibe to it that we're just playing along with you know, the tune. So it's cool.
No, it's great. Another great one, Ghosting You. Heavy
thanks.
Song. I love that one. What's the origins of that?
That's one of mine. You know, on this album, you know, some albums were written together, like, you know, Bad Luck Chuck and, you know, Out of the Dark, we sit together and write. And, you know, I've written some songs just in my studio here in Toronto, you know, that I just lay down all the tracks and send it to the guys like a demo, everything, you know, program drums and stuff. And so that was actually a song that I originally had thought about, you know, using for a solo thing that I'm working on, going more into, you know, the 70s. So it had more like it wasn't as tight and as hard as it comes on the album, but I dig how it came through. I remember talking to Tron, you know, we should use, you know, the talk box. Yeah. But he didn't have a talk box, and to explain to him what I meant, I just when we recorded the song, just put on the mic, okay? This is what I'm hearing in my mind, you know. And
Yeah.
and after the mix was done, I'm applauding Tron, saying, you know, it's so cool the thing that you did with the guitars there, exactly the way I really wanted it, you know, with the talk box and everything. Thank you, Åge, but it's really you. So he didn't find this talk box, and he just used my take on the talk box. Yeah.
Oh, I got to go back and listen to that. That's
Yeah,
really
it's
funny
me just
now.
telling. It's me. I'm just making sure Tron knows what I mean. You know.
Yeah. That's
And it's a song about, you know, people that we all know too. You know, I mean, people that, you know, aren't too honest. I mean, we all have friends that keep lying to you.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty bad experiences in my in my life with people lying, you know. And I mean, at one time you just sit down and think, you know, what good does this person do to your life? I mean, if this person only bring you, I mean, like pain, or you keep, he's bugging you, and he's never any good things, you know, the lies, and you know, you can't trust this guy. Have a nice life. I mean, life is too short.
Yeah. You come across as a very positive person. You know,
I don't need
negativity
negativity in my life. No, I don't. You know, before I had friends and associates, and you know, people I worked with that you know, brought me down, and they caused me so much pain and so much worries. I thought, you know, life would have been so much better without that person. Yeah. But at some point, you know, we are, it's so hard. I mean, to tell somebody to you, I mean, goodbye. I don't need you around. But I'm getting much better to that now. On that now,
it's healthier.
That,
for sure.
That's a sign of being older, you know.
Yes.
You're not that scared of telling people to go and take a hike.
You know, I've been listening to your songs nonstop throughout your, you know, the albums throughout your career. There seems to be a central theme running through a lot of your songs about like women taking advantage of you and traumatizing you. It's not so sexualized, but it's more the emotional aspect of it. Is that the case? And now
that you're thinking about,
now that you're thinking about that changes.
Yeah, if you think about Out of the Dark, for example, which is a song about, I mean, domestic violence. Oh, that was a song that Tron and I wrote the lyrics together, and Tron was just coming out of this very hard breakup, you know, and had a rough time. So we were sitting around talking about relationships in general, and of course we talked about his situation, and you know, that's how the Out of the Dark. I mean, he was so positive. I mean, about looking forward to his new life, you know. Yeah. So it was like he's getting out of the dark. You know, I mean, there's so much positive out there. I mean, for you. So that's how we got started on that song, and it developed into this story about this guy being in this abusive relationship, and it has nothing to do with either his relationship or mine. But you know, I have a friend that was in that kind of relationship, and that's that can't be easy. I mean, so it's something about the words that came, you know, and wow, this is just about that story, about that person, you know. So we used a lot of our own you know, experiences, and we dramatized it with the other guys' situation.
Being newly married, congratulations. Is that changing your view on songwriting moving forward? Maybe the next album?
No, I mean, no, not in that way. I mean, me and my wife, we're as much as we're Mr. and Mrs. and we're wedded, we are also buddies, and we have a great time together. So we are, I've never been in a relationship like this before. I mean, I mean, there's no problem at all. We just have a great time together. So I feel more free now than I've done in any other relationship I've been in, even though I have a ring on my finger. Yeah.
As long as you don't get soft on the lyrics, that's important.
No. They're only going to get worse, wilder.
Excellent. You know, from the videos, the lyrics, there's always these double entendres, and it's real fun. How important is it to inject comedy and some fun into your lyrics? I think I love it personally.
You know, in my first years as a singer, when we wrote songs in Norway, you know, lyrics weren't that important to me back then. I mean, it was all about, you know, yeah. But I started to listen to a lot of country songs, and you know, and the lyrics has become more and more important to me. I mean, I love it when songs have, I mean, if there are cliffhangers or punchlines, like whoa, almost like, you know, Brad Paisley's song, you know, about him going out to fish, you know, and his wife tells him, you know, if you are heading out to that sea today with that to fish, you know, and then you no bother coming back, because then I'm gonna leave you. And it seems like, and there's a little pause. I'm gonna miss her. I love that. It's hysterical. I mean, so I try to bring some, you know, some humor into my lyrics, and of course, if people listen to the lyrics, they'll find some gold on the end, like Shanghai on the Ammunition album. I mean, where you find out in the last sentences of the song that, oh fuck, he's a trans person.
I didn't pick that up. No. I gotta go back.
She's got balls, you know. So, but it's a very two last sentences. You'll find out that he had sex with a, you know, the she-male in Thailand.
I got to go back to that one. That's a funny one.
Yeah, check out the lyrics for that. I had lots of fun writing it. Oh. And Eric Mortensen, he didn't quite get it at first. No, it's so funny.
I got to check that one out. I didn't catch it, but I got to go listen to that one again. You know, you're a very entertaining person on screen, on video, and on stage. When was the exact moment you knew you wanted to be a singer in a band?
Oh, long time ago. I was like 10, 11 maybe when I started to sing, and you know, and when I was 14, I attended, like, you know, one of those competitions, you know.
Yeah.
Came in number 2, and slowly picked up the guitar, did some, joined a rock and roll band, and we were determined to make it. But you know, after a while, it was pretty obvious the other guys didn't want it as much as me. I mean, we booked ourselves some flights to the UK to promote our songs. We were like 18, 19, and my girlfriend at the time, she was so jealous, didn't want me to go there. I told her, you know, we're going there to sell this music. We're going to become stars, you know, so we're going to work our asses off. And at every rehearsal, the guys would only talk about, you know, what they wanted to do when we got into London. I mean, which bars to get pissed at, you know, and which shows to go to. Hey guys, are we going to London? I mean, to work with the material? Yeah, but we need, you know, and they had a different mindset than me back then. So I told the guys, you know, I'm not coming. I'm not going to London to go on a vacation. I was going to London to work my ass off. But no way I'm going to work my ass off alone. Have a nice trip. So instead I joined another band with people that were as engaged as me into writing songs, and that's been very much my path in life. I've broke up bands and started new bands when I thought, you know, the other guys didn't follow and didn't make. And it's good to have people around you that are as interested in, you know, writing songs and being the motor of the band, because it's very hard to be alone being a motor in a band, doing, you know, working your ass off. But when the payday comes, everybody wants their shares. Like, yeah, looks like we've been equal. Work is hard.
I get it. Yeah,
we've done the same amount of work. Yes, we haven't.
I hear that story all the time. I hear that story all the time in books and, you know,
Yeah.
same nonsense. They didn't contribute and they want half the share, you know, or
Yeah.
the share.
That's what I did with Ammunition as well. That was my band in the start of the Ammunition band. It was Åge Sten Nilsen's Ammunition. I paid the guys, you know, they had their salary, you know, and you know, if it went bad, I lost money. If it went good, I earned money. Yeah. But on the second album, I decided, you know, isn't it time we become a regular band? I mean, we're all get equals, and you know, and when you know, then you kind of expect people to pick up the chance and say, wow, now I'm going to work my ass off for this thing that I believe in. Yeah. But if you're put in that situation that you have to work even harder, and then you also have to share, like, oh, was that a smart move?
Yeah. Gotta rethink. You talked about you coming to the United States in April. Yep. You already have a bunch of California dates booked. You have Virginia booked. When do you think there's going to announce more dates? And you mentioned something earlier about visa issues.
Yeah, I mean, we finally we know there is time enough for our visas to get you know, to return to us, for us to have the interviews, you know, with American, the U.S. embassy here in Norway to get that tour going, because no way they're gonna they're gonna delay it that long. I mean, they have all the dates now, and easily they can put in some more dates. I don't think that's a problem. And I know Arm Entertainment, they were working really hard now to fill in those gaps, and we are just eager to go there and to prove to people in the US that we're a great live act, and that we really want to build a new market in the US. And now that we have someone working with the band over there, we are determined that this is just the first trip over. Okay. So hopefully we can start planning on a new tour, and hopefully we will be a part of a tour with a bigger headliner in order to play in front of bigger audiences, you know.
Good idea.
So we were actually on the verge of writing a contract with there was a couple of bands, a couple of tours, but they you know, it was everything happened so fast, and you know, the visa issues are hard. I mean, it's so much easier for American bands to come to Europe than for European bands to come to the US, and that's very sad, because we are also creating jobs in the US. We're not taking away other bands' income. I mean, we want to create things in the US. We want to sell merch and use American retailers. We want to, you know, have an American crew, and you know, create work and bring along bands on tours, and you know, do something.
Right. Well, that's good. Well, I'm thrilled you're coming, and I'll be at a bunch of shows. I'm a photographer too, so I'm going to come and take pictures. I'll review the show. So I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully I get to say hello to you if you have some time in your schedule, and go out to eat. And
of course, we'll have a mojito. These days, actually, what my favorite drink these days is actually Moscow Mule, but I hate saying that I'm gonna have a Moscow. Oh, I'm gonna have what I used to call a Moscow Mule, but these days I call it the Kiev Mule.
The Kiev Mule. It's like Prince. It's like Prince. He changed his name. We're gonna change the name of the drink.
Oh, we can't drink anything Russian. No,
just... I know. I hear you. Well, I want to be respectful to your time. I always enjoy talking with you, and it's such an honor to speak.
Likewise.
And I love the album. I can't wait to see you guys live. I'm counting down my days, so it's gonna be awesome.
We're counting down the days too. First, we're going to Australia, and finally, you know, that is all set. So we were actually supposed to be in Miami now, and you know, yes, sad enough, we had to cancel our date at the Rock Island. We're gonna do the Key West.
Yes.
And of course, the gig we were supposed to do in Tahiti was canceled because of the sanitary problems or something, you know. So
I didn't know that.
so that has been postponed. I had my suitcase all packed with Hawaiian shirts and
Awesome.
swimming things, you know, surfboard and no, just kidding. Everything was, we were packed. It was like, okay, but finally we will get down to Australia now then and do our first Australian tour and head back home for a Norwegian tour, and then I'm gonna do a series of shows with the, you know, the musical We Will Rock You. I'm gonna do the I'm gonna do Buddy there and sing, you know, open the show with innuendo and everything, and then we go to the US and just to receive the mail now, we're doing the Sweden Rock Festival this year, so it's
Good
cool.
for you. Good for you.
Yep.
I'm excited for you, and I can't be happier. And I've been telling everybody about you. I'm going to bring a couple of buddies of mine. We're going to have a great time. So it should be
Awesome. Can't
good.
wait to see you, man.
Yes, it was nice seeing
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
See you down there. You. Bye.